Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to another action figure review, as today I'm going to take you all the way back to 1996 in the Puck world as we look at the Mighty Ducks figures by Mattel. Now, this is a very underrated animated series, and these figures are also probably one of the coolest ones I've seen. Now, if you're familiar with the Mighty Ducks live action movie, then these figures have nothing to do with those movies, but these are its own awesome, unique individual style that I absolutely love, and it definitely has that 90s aesthetic of anthropomorphic ducks basically talking in human form. So this fits right up in the alley of 90s animated series, and it's just one of the coolest things I've seen. Now, if you guys haven't seen the animated series, the ducks basically live in this world called Puck World, where it's basically a whole hockey-filled ice venture type planet, and after an invasion, they head down to Earth, crash land in California. They establish a base in a hockey rink and then basically stop the evil villains from basically taking over the world. I will say that these figures hold a certain form of nostalgia because, again, if you're a fan of the Mighty Ducks, then these figures should be no stranger to your collection. But if you have no clue what these are, then I'm here to tell you that, again, these are just going to be a very deep cut into the 90s animated series if you're a fan of like the Street Sharks or Ninja Turtles or just any other anthropomorphic characters, like even like Biker Mice from Mars and so on. So let's go ahead and take a look at each individual character and see how great they really are. Alright, so here we have Wildwing first, who's the leader of the Mighty Ducks and from Puck World, and this figure just looks absolutely incredible. I love the facial expression, I love the design of all these ducks, they just look absolutely incredible. And one of the coolest things about this animated series is that this mask that you see right here, this golden duck mask, is basically filled with powers. So as soon as Wildwing takes off the mask, you can see his original face, or his duck-like face, and he's basically like a human-style character, or like a humanized anthropomorphic duck. But as soon as he puts on the gold mask, these armor pieces all come on, and it just makes the figure look just really, really cool. So that's why I really liked the animated series, for that kind of innovation. But the overall aesthetic of these figures are just, whoever designed the color scheme did a really great job, because I love the golds, the teal greens, the purples, and the very light shaded egg whites kind of complement each other within the color scheme of all these figures. So it just has that Mighty Ducks aesthetic, and it's really, really awesome. So again, the face sculpt looks really, really good. They're all minimal 5 points articulation, and it is incomplete for that matter, but again, I think it's still really, really awesome. And you can just see how they have more of a bigger torso compared to the bottom half, but the rest of the figure just looks freaking sick, and I absolutely love it. And I love how they have the Mighty Ducks logo right there on the right shoulder pad. The really cool thing is that all these figures come with additional accessories and pads and ice skates as well. Some are missing, but it's just really cool to see that they do come with these cool little gimmicks where there's like a red little flamethrower kind of thing where you just push this button right here and it pops out like that, or it shoots out like missiles, like red flame missiles, which is really cool. So yeah, I mean, this figure is just absolutely badass. I do have his accessories. I'm going to try to incorporate it and just see what it is I have, and then hopefully it does justice to the actual figure of a Wildwing. Alright, and here we have Wildwing with most of the accessories that I have that he comes with, and overall it's pretty cool. I mean, yes, I am missing a couple of the red launchers that he comes with, and it's okay, but he does have the hockey knee pads, which looks pretty sick. I only have one ice skate that goes with it that pegs underneath the foot. I hope to really complete this roster at some point in my life, or in terms of having all these figures be complete, but for now it still works for what it is. You can just kind of peg it into the side left shoulder pad where it has another cool little nozzle that connects to the left hand, which is really cool. And yeah, I mean, can't complain. Yeah, it does suck that it's incomplete, but I still think it's a pretty good looking figure. So that is Wildwing. And I also want to emphasize that within the animated series, he had such an emotional story arc, which I won't spoil. So if you want to see that in regards to him and his best friend, it just gets really emotional. So, character development and story arc within this particular character, because he wasn't initially the first leader, but after what happened within the incidents of Puck World, it's just, it's pretty sad. So yeah, that's why Wildwing is one of the coolest leaders within any of the 90s animated series anthropomorphic groups. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at the character Grin, who's basically the powerhouse of the group, and he basically loves meditation, and he's very a Zen-like character despite his beefy exterior, and there's a reason why for that they dive into the animated series. There's like a little past history involving why he's as big as he is, but he also has a very calm-like nature, but he's the brute force of the group. And this figure is actually really cool, and it's very unfortunate that I am missing a very key component to this head sculpt, is that you can see on the side here there are pegs, which are glasses that are attached to the upper half of the head, which I guess is one of the most rarest things to find, because I've never seen any eBay auction where they have his glasses attached to the figure, so to find it would probably be rare, but it is what it is. He has a really cool ponytail, nice little smile and smirk. He has more of a darker, or I should say a deeper voice tone, and again, he's just like a powerhouse with all the cool muscles, with some nice little shoulder pads there, cool white t-shirt, really into like the martial arts, meditation, again, Zen-like character, and the pants are pretty cool. Nice gauntlets with like the greens and blues, or like the tealish blues. Really, really cool. I love how it's like the bigger upper half, but then the smaller legs, which is pretty nice. And then on this side, we can see he has the Mighty Ducks logo. Now, I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to be, or did the actual duck logo fade. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But for now, and not too much to say other than he does have like a swivel that's a little bit loose on mine, but it's okay. And I do have a few accessories of this guy, so let's go ahead and equip him real quickly and see what the remaining of the figure looks like. Alright, so when it comes to equipping him with his accessories, the only things I do have is his bottom silver boots, and then his black little ice skates, which doesn't really look like ice skates whatsoever, but you can just see they're designed very weird, and it should have been like silver or something, but that's okay. So he kind of just stands pretty tall like that, and yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. The figure also comes with a hockey stick bag where it just basically projectiles, weapons, and I'm kind of just shoving it in there, but hopefully this is the accurate part of it, because again, it's really cool to see at least they incorporated these accessories within the figures, and it can slip out here and there, which again, I just kind of shoved it in there, but it's okay. So there's nothing else too much to say other than it's a pretty cool looking figure, and I just love how a big brute that he is, and yeah, it's a nice color tones within the figure as well. So that is Grin. Alright, and up next we're going to be taking a look at Mallory, who's the only female within this collection group, because like I mentioned before earlier in the video, they did not make the other female, Tanya, which is very unfortunate, but overall it's a pretty good looking figure, and I love her story arc within the Mighty Ducks show, because she's basically like the level-headed female who basically tries to get things done right and kind of puts everyone in their place if they're doing something wrong. So I just love the Disney style looking duck expression. She does look really nice. Hair came out pretty well, and the purples and the teals looking nicely done, and again, very minimal articulation, boots, all that looking just good. I mean, I love looking at the color palettes of these Mighty Ducks figures. They all scream out like, Mighty Ducks, and I love how the back of the figure has the Mighty Ducks logo right there, and everything else looks good with some little elbow pads, and either way the facial expression is all pretty good. So let's quickly equip this figure with some of the accessories that I have. Alright, and here we have Mallory with all her accessories, and she does come with these little headset right here, which is kind of like the ear muffs. I probably did this wrong, but that's okay. It looks pretty decent, and then she does come with this spinning little gadget thing, which I have no clue what it really does. And then she has these spiked out little orange style boots, and then the ice skates attached to the bottom of the feet, which I'm thankful at least this one's complete. So you just kind of have to peg it in there, and it just kind of like stays. But overall, the aesthetic of this figure looks pretty good, and it could get a little bit top heavy because of the skates being positioned wrong, but seeing how if you want to be a kid and have her skate around like that is pretty cool. But Other than that, I try like to do it without the little ear muffs, but you know, it is what it is. But I like how one hand has the gloves and then the left hand doesn't have it. So yeah, I mean, again, it's just those 90s gimmicks, which is fine for what it is. But yeah, I like to do mine without the accessories, and you know, because it's probably a little better that way. So not too much to say, pretty decent figure, and for the only female of the group within this collection, yeah, it's pretty badass. So that is Mallory. Alright, and up next we're going to be taking a look at Nosedive, who's basically like the comedic relief of the group, and this figure is probably one of the cooler ones of the actual Mighty Ducks group, just because if you look at the figure, he has like that cool hairstyle, the duck aesthetic, and the overall like armor pieces with the teals and light purples, and then the, you know, off-colored white, which again makes the figure pop out a lot more. And I believe in the animated series he did have a nice story arc in there as well. I'm not too sure because it's been a while since I've seen it, but I love how he has the intricate Mighty Ducks logo, which is more of a newer design to it. I love how his beak basically has like a kind of a different squared design on top of the beak, which is interesting. And the eyes are fine, luscious locks of the 90s hairstyle, and the overall aesthetic of it does look pretty cool. I mean, again, it's very simplistic, but again, the armor pieces really adds a lot of versatility to these figures, and it makes it pop out a lot more. So let's go ahead and equip this guy with his accessories and then see how he looks, if it's good or not. Alright, so this figure is probably the only one out of all the Mighty Ducks that I own who's equipped with the most accessories, because it is just really strange and just all over the place. But here we can see that he does have his little mufflers, or whatever you want to call it, that's attached to his head now. I just put it like this because it's like the old 90s rubber, and I definitely don't want to snap it in place trying to put it on, so that's the best I could do for now. But he does have this little interesting gimmick right here that's pegged onto his forearm, which again, I don't really know what it does, but whatever. And then we have like this little gun that's attached to like a nozzle that goes to the side piece of his right shoulder pad. And then we can see that his boots have the orange like hoverboard style skates, which I don't know, is very weird and futuristic. Not too sure what they were really aiming for. But yeah, you can just see like the propellers and stuff like that. So it's definitely like a hoverboard kind of flight simulator style skates. So yeah, pretty weird. Not sure what, I mean, I guess I get it. I don't know, whatever. But the figure also comes with like a backpack where you incorporate like this little sword or dagger or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know. So I'm not even sure if he utilized this in the actual animated series, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb. And then there's also a additional piece like this that kind of, you know, I guess it stays on or attaches to it like this, and maybe you can spin it around. Let's take a look. Yeah, perhaps it's just an additional piece that you also can clip on into this one, unless you try to have this one like spin and let it fly out or something, like a projectile or something. But overall, this figure just has a lot of things going on compared to all the other figures, so I find it very interesting, but it's still probably one of the coolest ones because, again, Nosedive is a pretty nice asset to the team. So yeah, I mean, I like the way it is. So that is Nosedive. Alright, and last but not least, we have Duke Leorang, and this figure is pretty cool. I mean, he had a very interesting story arc within the Mighty Duck storyline. He does have that signature 90s trope of having an eye patch style laser, which is defined within the animated series, and he explains why or how he got it. And the overall hair looks very nice with like a nice wave that goes over it, which does look pretty cool. He has that nice, you know, kind of stern face. Can't really tell. Looks like he's smiling, but you know, he's more of an angrier character. His weapon is more of like a laser lightsaber style, which I think has like a rope attached to it. Gives it more action poses. He's basically not in the aesthetics of the turquoise or teals and whites. He's more purples with the grays, which again is fine for what it is. And yeah, I mean, definitely captures a really cool, menacing Mighty Ducks teammate for sure. He has the golden Mighty Ducks logo on the right arm, which is fine, and the back of the figure is cool. So Other than that, let's go ahead and equip this figure with his accessories, and then we'll see if this figure holds up the way it is. Alright, so Duke comes with very minimal accessories. As we can see here, I only have one skate that's attached to the actual boot, which is a nice like grayish blue tones, which does look pretty good, and nice sculpting and detail there as well. So yeah, it looks nice. The wheels all came out pretty cool, like booster jetpack kind of style. Yeah, I like that. You know, again, it's very unfortunate that I am missing some of these skates on these figures, but it's okay. The weapon that you see right here, it does peg into the side shoulder right there, which is cool. And then he does come with a additional accessory where he has a rope which kind of spirals, kind of like a boomerang style, and attaches to the forearm, giving it like a cool, versatile action pose. But yeah, other than that, I think it's also cooler without it, just because, you know, you don't want to equip him with too much, because this guy is more like a solo adventurous type of character. But regardless of whatever direction you want to put him, he just looks freaking badass. So again, the skates, additional rope accessories and stuff, all cool, but you know, I just like the way he's more of a lone wolf style character. So that is Duke Leorang. Alright, you guys, so that is my 1996 Mighty Ducks collection by Mattel. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, that it is missing their other teammate Tanya, which unfortunately did not get a figure made, and it just makes the whole team look incomplete. But for now, at least we have these 5 characters added into the Mighty Ducks roster, which again looks freaking badass. And of course, a lot of the weapons and gimmicks can be utilized for their ice skates and hockey pads and sticks and whatever, and it is incomplete because some of these figures are missing some of their projectiles and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm at least happy to own what I have, and it just looks really awesome. So we have Duke Leorang, we have Grin, we have Wildwing the leader, and then we have Nosedive, and then Mallory. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.